Hello, I'm Kylie Maloney, and I work in manuscripts at the Australian Institute of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Studies. I'm here on behalf of our committee for the ASA Conference 2022. Firstly, I want to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which I'm standing on, the Ngunnawal people. I pay my respect to their elders past and present. I acknowledge that we are presenting this today from the unceded lands of the Ngunnawal people. I also acknowledge the many other traditional owners of the land on which you're joining us and pay respects to their elders. In particular, we welcome other First Nations people who are joining us today. We want to welcome you to the 2022 conference, which will be held here in Canberra on Ngunnawal country. We pay our respects to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander archivists in our society, and we acknowledge our privilege in undertaking work in the cultural sector on Aboriginal lands around Australia. The past few years have been times of challenge and change with a real sense of turmoil. The 2022 conference will encourage participants to take the time and the space to reflect on where we are. How did we arrive at this concept? Reviewing past conferences, we noticed that the Society has spent much time and effort looking towards the future, and we wanted to take the time to reflect on what has gone before. We also reflected on the way Canberra, the bush capital, has extensive amounts of cultural knowledge that is held in archives, knowledge that belongs to all Australia through our national collections and the archival collections that are housed here. So our chosen theme for the 2022 Australian Society of Archivists Conference is Here We Are.
I'm Stuart Bennington from the Australian War Memorial. The questions we invite you to think about sharing at the 2022 conference are along the lines of, here we are in our profession. Rather than always looking to the future, where are we situated now, today? And how do we end up in our current situation? What have we achieved?
Hi, I'm Louise Curran. I'm a new ASA counsellor, a great honour. I currently work at Charles Sturt, teaching records and archives. So our conference themes are also asking, here we are as archivists. What's our standpoint? Who are we and where do we work? Is this a shared standpoint? Where are we in relation to others? What's our relationship to place, to country, to Canberra, to the users of our collections, our would-be users, and our communities?
Hello, my name's Abby and I'm within the first 5 years of my career. Here we are, bringing the attention to ourselves through advocacy and telling people that we are here.
I'm Fiona Blackburn. I worked in archives for about 11 years, retiring last year in 2020. Hello, everyone. A theme in 2022 might also be where we aren't yet. The Royal Commission into Institutional Responses to Child Sexual Abuse made specific recommendations about record keeping and archiving. The Europe Justice Commission in Victoria calls for truth-telling as a preliminary to treaty negotiations. This means access to historical information in archives. People who were in care as children or who are forgotten Australians call for the right of reply to records. And the ASA Council has endorsed the Tandanya Declaration. So release of records, truth-telling, the right of reply, decolonising. These are some of the possibilities where perhaps we aren't quite there yet. What other practice developments would you like to share in 2022? Where else would you like to be able to say, here we are?
I'm Jessie Lim and I'm the outgoing Vice President of the ASA and proud to call Canberra my home. I want to conclude by inviting you all to join us in Canberra next year to share your ideas and reflections, either in person or virtually. I also really want to thank the Brisbane team for the conference we've had this week. It's been excellent. And for all the work that you've done over the last 3 years, handled so nimbly in these very strange pandemic times. In Canberra, we hope we literally will be able to say, here we are together, as fingers crossed we can gather in person again. And we look forward to seeing you in October 2022. Thank you.